They're still, and here we go. Bot players, press start, and they are about to start board 1, first level. First level is always always have to deal with nerfs. Actually, the first level is not even as easy as it seems. And as you can see, Cujo missed the jump on the Koopa, so he has to play a little bit more safe. But it's not a big deal. Probably gonna lose a couple of seconds, not more. But of course, especially on such an important match like a winner final, nerfs can be really a factor, and especially during the first levels, which are not easy at all. Even a more experienced player may commit some unexpected mistakes, but nothing too big. I mean, Cujo is still in a cool shape. Let's see how both players will handle the first fortress, where pretty complicated P speed needs to be pulled off. Both players managed to get the leaf while still keeping P speed, so they actually able to reach the secret room with the whistle very quickly, very efficiently. So no big deal for both of the players. Approaching now 1-5, which is the first level with the standard canonical pipe team from Super Mario. And maybe Cujo may have catch up a little bit. Yeah, I am the best. And yeah, thus far the match is very close. We're still at the very beginning, but players are really experienced. They did first world so many times. They know perfectly everything. Looks like, however, Cujo didn't fail to get the P-speed first try here, so he had to step back a little bit in order to charge properly the P-speed. He's gonna lose something, but not too much. Does the winner get Mitch? No, because Mitch actually lost the previous run against WhenChukAttacks. But if Mitch will manage to win the entire loser bracket, then the winner of this match will face eventually Mitch Flower Power into the grand final. But no, we still don't know yet the opponent of the winner of this best of 3 set match. Approaching the first autoscroller of the game, I mean, we have 8 airships that we need to beat. All airships are autoscrollers. So as you can imagine, this game has plenty of autoscrollers. It's actually the first Mario game having autoscrollers. Let's say they can be a bit boring, especially if you play the game many times. You know pretty much everything. You know exactly where each single bullet will go, will be shot, the position of each bullet bill. There's not really anything interesting to say about this airship. You just need to manage not to lose a fire flower. And nice dirty fight from Chuck. Let's see if Cujo will answer. Alright, so 2 very clean fights from both of our players. So maybe Cujo may had a little bit of troubles in a couple of points in World 1, but overall both players are basically tied up, maybe a couple of seconds difference. But it's still early, everything can happen, so you know, it's just the first world. But it's important to actually starting in a proper way, especially in a game where every level, can be dangerous, and every level, every death can cost you basically the match. Especially at such a high levels, when such skilled players face each other, every single mistake, even the most trivial one, can cost the game. So, approaching world level 3-2. Actually, there's a cool trick you can pull off with that slope, and looks like both Chuck and Cujo managed to pull it off. Basically, you can acquire you can go faster than usual after sloping, and if you time correctly the jumps, you can actually keep the momentum and cross the level faster than you would if you proceed at normal speed. An early P speed in the fortress. Chuck is doing a very nice run. And looks like Cujo got the early P speed as well. Maybe a little bit later, but doesn't really matter. Both players got relatively early P speed here in the fortress, so pretty clean World 2 from both. And here the section with the spikes that goes up and down. Not a big deal here. And let's see if maybe we can have an early hammer from one of the runners. It looks like very unlikely, since I don't see any hammer brother in Chuck's screen, and there's the music box hammer brother in Cujo's screen, so looks like early hammer will be not as expected an issue. Ooh, looks like Cujo is trying to go for a start. I believe it's called rocket red shell or something like that. But basically, if you bring up a shell up to you until the final point, you can kick the shell at higher speed and break all the path to the pipe faster than you would normally do with just the green Koopa. It saves a bit of time, not too much, but it's definitely cool to see. I believe that, I mean, at least personally, this is the first time I see this strat here in this tournament, so definitely shoutouts to Cujo to showcasing it in the tournament, and especially in such an important occurrence like a winner final of such a big tournament. Looking at the Hammer Brother configuration from both of players. In the meantime, Chuck gets an unfortunate hit here in 2-4. It's not a big deal. Actually, losing the Fire Flower in World 2 is not too bad. You can still grab one in the upcoming airships, so nothing too bad. And I see that Chuck has a very nasty Hammer Brother pattern in the map. I'm not sure if he will be able to just face the Hammer Brother with the hammer, like usually Cujo will do for sure, since the music box Hammer Brother is on the other side of the map. And also Chuck gets very unlucky with that slope. But sometimes if you just jump over that slope, and this hit is definitely an issue right now, because Chuck will enter World 3 without the Fire Flower, and he will have to grab it somewhere else, maybe in 3-1 or in 3-2, we'll see. Yeah, also Chuck gets better RNG here, so he has to face the next Hammer Brother for... we really don't want to face the Hammer Brother with the music box. We just need the hammer here. We don't need really that music box. On the bright side, Chuck may try to skip the Sky Hammer Brother, which holds another music box as well. I recall that we need actually music box in World 7 to skip the last plant level. So very unfortunate late World 2 for Chuck, and definitely lost a lot of time, whereas pretty clean execution from Cujo. Also a cool strat with the red shell, so definitely the run is... Right now the run is more towards Cujo, but a lot of things that can still happen. We still have to face the worst places where RNG actually plays a big role. World 3 with the runaway, of course, World 8 with the hands, and many other little places with other Hammer Brothers on their paths that with bad RNG can cost you some time. So definitely here a lot of things can still happen. Let's see if Cujo will try to go for the fire kill. Looks like it doesn't. So just opting for the... Oh, he actually did the fire kill. Oh, okay. Very nice. I never seen that fire kill executed in that way. Very cool strat. Cujo is also using very advanced strat that are actually riskier than usual. Definitely decide to go lean. Maybe he said, oh okay, I'm against Chuck. Chuck is a great player, I need to play at my best. Oh, I don't mind taking taking some risks. And it's definitely paying off up to this point. Since right now Cujo has around 20 seconds. So, there's a gap of 20 seconds around between Cujo and Chuck. And Chuck still has to take a fire flower somewhere. So the gap is about to get larger, for sure, at some point. Yeah, looks like more or less 20 seconds. World 3, I like to call it the water gauntlet, since the first 3 levels all involve water in different form. And nice first frame jump from WhenChukAttacks, even though he missed the easiest jump of the level here. But he's still in good shape, whereas Cujo is going for the P-Speed strat in 3-2. And there's nothing to say about that. That was a textbook 3-2 from Cujo. Perfect execution, he never slowed down, never pressed left. P-Speed get very quickly, and let's see if Chuck will be able to reply to Cujo. My god, this is a very high stakes race. Looks like he did. Nice done. Chuck as well. And also Cujo is now facing 3-3. Everything 3-3 very smooth. Nothing to say about that. Looks like Hammer Brothers in Chuck's screen should be okay, whereas I don't think Cujo will have any issue with Runaway. Since both Hammer Brothers are on the lowest part of the screen. Let's see after 3-3 where the right Hammer Brother will be, so that we can actually see if Chuck needs to pay attention, and maybe if Chuck needs to go catch the Hammer Brother sooner than usual. Looks like if Chuck decides to go immediately for the Hammer Brother, he will not have any problem with Runaway. So let's see if he actually decides to play safe, not going and actually catching immediately that Hammer Brother. If instead he decides to play stun, he doesn't. He decides to do first 3-4 so that he can fight the Hammer Brother first. That way we lose a little bit of time, but that's an insurance against Runaway Hammer Brother, so we cannot really blame Chuck for this. You really want to maybe sacrifice 6 or 7 seconds extra for extra movements in the map to avoid that the Hammer Brother will go through board 6th level. At that point, since the bridge will open up and down every time you exit from a level, at that point Chuck would have need to take an intentional death to have the bridge down and actually to cross and skip a good chunk of World 3, as he's doing right now with the Cloud. So it looks like Runaway Hammer Brothers is not a big deal today. That's good, because Runaway Hammer Brothers is very nasty, it's very annoying to get, especially in a race, as you can imagine. There's still more or less a level of difference. Ooh, this is probably the first important mistake from Cujo, I would say. He missed basically a very hard jump, because in order to get across that very high wall, you need to jump on the fourth brick, which is actually a knot block, and that requires very high precision, because if you need to hit, as Chuck is doing right now, you need to hit exactly the right edge of the last block if you want to have a chance at overcoming that very high wall. So actually Chuck here may have saved some time compared to Cujo, but I believe that more or less the gap should still be around 20 seconds, so very close race thus far. And yeah, if we considering that Cujo had a little bit of trouble in 3-9, Chuck had to take an extra power up in 3-1, and he had to chase the the right Hammer Brother in order to avoid a runaway. I believe that the gap overall should still be the same compared to World 2 gap. So basically anything should change when reaching the World 3 split. Looks like both players are on a very good pace. I believe they should both finish around 60 minutes, maybe sub 16, which is actually 52 pace. No, actually looks like Cujo is finishing way below 60 minutes. Oh, nice split from Cujo. 15:38. That's a very good split. Very good run. And also Chuck is not that far behind. Looks like it's a little bit more than 20 seconds. Should be around 25, 27. Let's see how Cujo, Chuck and Wendy, no issue at all. So 16:03 for WhenChukAttacks, whereas Cujo split at 15 minutes and 38 seconds. So yeah, around 25 seconds. So Cujo increased the gap a little bit, but Chuck is still close. So and still a very close race, as everyone I think expected. I mean, this is the grand final. Chuck and Cujo are one of the best SMB3 runners all around. So approaching World 4, the giant world, but everything is bigger than usual. And there's even a level of difference between both players. Mario proves. Cujo approaching 4-3, which is one of the, I believe, one of the funnest level to play, also to watch. The speed strat is very satisfying to pull off, and also very enjoyable to watch. And looks like Cujo actually did it pretty well, even though the last jump was a bit scary. But still very excellent execution. And Chuck really needs the Hammer Brother to stay there, because otherwise he may have some troubles of detecting the Hammer Brother with the cloud. That's risking to face other extra Hammer Brother. Remember that Chuck already faced an extra Hammer Brother in World 2. So he's probably going to skip the Hammer Brother into the cloud. Usually in 4-4, this is the standard speedrunning strat. Ooh, that Hammer Brother movement was pretty scary, I would say, because if he went left, he could have started changing position with all other Hammer Brothers, and that would have been nasty for Chuck. But in the end, he got acceptable RNG, so he should be good to go. Still more or less a level of difference across between the two players. Pretty much flawless World 4 execution from both. So I believe that the gap should still be pretty much the same. Chuck is definitely paying for those extra hits that he took in World 2. From there, both players are on the same pace, so there's still time to recover up from those mistakes. Cujo trying to get the early P-speed in the fortress, but got a couple of very unfortunate sub-pixels. So had to give up on the idea of getting P-speed there. If Chuck gets the P-speed in the fortress, he may save some time. May close definitely the gap. This is best of 3. This is best of 3. The second match will be shortly after this one, whereas the eventual third match will be it still needs to be scheduled, so we don't know yet when it's gonna happen, if it's going to happen, of course. Chuck in the end didn't manage to get the P-speed in the fortress, whereas Cujo is well, he's approaching the most funny and entertaining level of the game. The painful half speed World 4 auto-scrollers, so sometimes runners just jump into the chat to say hi to the audience and just doing some jokes around. But this spaceship moves at very slow speed, as you can see. So actually it's pretty long, it lasts for 2 minutes straight. So it's time to actually adjust your coin amount, because approaching World 5 you need to start pay attention to a very nasty mechanic here in SMB3, which is called the coin ship, which is a very cool mechanic if you're playing casually. But if you're a speedrunner, you really don't want to get the coin ship. Basically, the 10 digit of your score and the 2 digits of your coin amount are the same, one of the Hammer Brother in the map will turn out into a white airship, which unlocks a very long auto-scroller level full of coins. That's why it's named coin ship. The problem is that it's super slow and super long. Of course, in a speedrun you really don't want to get involved into such a time sink. That's why what players that, by the way, they decided to get a peculiar amount of coins of 69. No memes, that's not a meme. I mean, this is an optimal number to enter into World 5. But that's really the only thing that really matters into this airship. And Cujo also getting the fast kill against Iggy. Well, we all remember what happened here in the Iggy fight, during the Iggy fight to the poor Stevie Cardman, that managed to soft lock the game during that fight in a very unfortunate way. But Cujo doesn't really care about that and decided to go for it anyways. By the way, cannot really blame it. That soft lock is so rare that it should not even be a concern, especially during a race. A very sick kill. Cujo is playing amazingly, and given how well Cujo is playing, Chuck is still right behind. I mean, I believe that gap is still around 20 seconds, so this is a very nice race, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm trying to commentate at the best. But yeah, looks like more or less a level of difference, which is around 20-25 seconds. Still a very close race. Cujo now facing the pit of despair. Very clean execution. You don't really want to fall down that huge pit, because otherwise you would end up losing a lot of time. Since of course the fall longs at least 10-20 seconds, very long. And after that you have to face a very long underground section full of enemies and very janky and sloppy. And of course it's way more slower than just doing the route both players are doing. Let's see if Chuck's managed to skip the pit of despair. It does. Well done. So no pit of despair for both players. It's a very clean run thus far. No RNG swings, nothing. No, Chuck did not have a death, but Chuck had an extra Hammer Brother in World 2. And he took some hits in World 2 as well. So that's why he's still a bit behind compared to Cujo, but not too much, still a level. And let's see if Cujo here gets some luck with the Hammer Brother. He does, so now he found the correct Hammer Brother. Here he won. With this strat, he wants to face the Cloud Hammer Brother, because in the end you need that Cloud. That B-Wing, sorry, not Cloud. Let's see if we will see if Chuck gets the good RNG as well. But Chuck has an extra music box, so he might decide to use it there. Let's see what Chuck decides to do. Chuck is confident with the fact that he's going to face the B-Wing Hammer Brother, so doesn't really need to use the music box here. So he can actually, Chuck now may try to skip the Sky Hammer Brother. In that way, the number of Hammer Brother faced by both players will become the same. Probably Chuck, if he gets lucky enough, should be able to close the gap a little bit with Cujo. But that's Chuck now. Nice tower from him. He managed to get the B-speed from the beginning to the end of the level, which is very cool and very hard to do. So very well executed from Chuck. Ooh, Cujo here missed the P-speed by very little. That's unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. So there's still more or less a level of difference between the two players. Didn't know. But still remember that Chuck may be able to skip this Hammer Brother here in the sky. With this configuration, he has pretty decent chance at doing it. And also, Chuck is performing this War 5 slightly better than Cujo, since he got the P-speed in the tower and Cujo didn't. He got the P-speed here in 5-5 and Cujo didn't. So at the end of the day, the two players may be tied up after this War 5. Unfortunately for Chuck, RNG is not on his side. So now his ex-Hammer Brother confirmed. He will end up with 2 music boxes. Hopefully for him, he may try to use one in War 6 to avoid the Star Hammer Brother. But that's for him. For him, this means that he faced the next Hammer Brother, at least compared to Cujo's route. So, yeah, this is the first match. The second match will be shortly after this one. And the third match, we don't know yet when it's going to happen, so... So Cujo right now is approaching the last airship. He will use a cloud to skip the... I believe the best level of the game, even though I'm apparently the only one thinking that 5-9 is the best level of the game. Sorry Lauzo, but that's my insignificant opinion about that. And yeah, still a level of difference. Chuck now approaching 5-8, whereas Cujo is actually speaking to the king, turning into a bird. And facing the 5th airship, captained by Royal Koopa. No, Royal is the runner. Roy Koopa, sorry. So at the end of the day, I still expect around 20-30 seconds between the two. Cloud to skip the 5-9 and into the airship Chuck goes. But this is another auto-scroller, of course, nothing really special to say about auto-scrollers. Apart from the fact that you need to preserve your power-up at your best. Even though here losing a power-up here is not the end of the world, there are definitely worse plays to get a hit. You still really don't want to. Because you really want to have the 5 flower approaching War 6 for the first Hammer Brother fight, also to have 2 damage boosts across the spike carpet at the beginning of the fortress. Ooh, he missed the quick fire kill by a couple of shots, but he managed to get it after the second bonk. Crazy run from Cujo, oh my god. I believe that Cujo thus far got all the quick fire kills, and I believe he got almost every hard strat of the run, apart maybe from the fortress in War 4. And the only mistake he did was in 3-9. Oh no, that hitbox is very unfortunate. Chuck loses fire flower here. Like I said, not a big deal. He's not gonna lose too much because of this. But definitely, without the fire flower, the beginning of War 6 maybe is a little bit more hard. Simply because Hammer Brothers without fire flower can be very nasty. Of course. But apart from that, it should be fine. So Cujo needs to pay attention to coin amount, since he has 94 coin. And then 10 digits is a 9. So definitely needs not to take 5 coins. Okay, it actually adjusts the coin amount just in time. Props to him for that. Here, as you can see, Chuck may have some troubles here against this Hammer brother. Needs to take it slowly and also gets a hit. Ooh, and a pretty clutch kill there. As Cujo is killing the Boom Boom with a star. Actually, a cool tech here. Now Chucky has to face this jump. This can be very nasty, but it managed to get it very nicely. He also timed pretty well the damage booster. And oh my god, that was close. Apparently Cujo for some reason missed the P-speed, missed the P-switch in 6-4. And with the P-switch activated, the last chunk of the 6-4 is very fast. You can use the P-speed. But if the P-switch is not activated, you have a lot of bricks on your way. So you need to take it slowly. And also there's a couple of enemies that can be on your way. Can be very dangerous. Looks like also Chuck didn't manage to despawn one of the white plants that keeps the pipe, so he actually had to go back, grab a shell, and doing what actually Nintendo intended. So bring a shell with you, taking the shell up to where the plants stay, and actually kill the plants with the shell. But as you can see, Chuck managed to despawn the right plant. Even though Chuck has 99 coin, but he should be still fine. Let's see if at least Chuck managed to skip this Hammer brother. It looks like he will do. He should be able to skip the Hammer brother. Oh my god, Cujo here. 1 pixel from that pit. Oh my god, that was close. Now Chuck is definitely saving time. Now the gap is definitely less. So Chuck is getting closer and closer, even though Chuck... Ooh! Actually Chuck expected here to get hit by the waffle there, in order to damage boost all that section while still keeping P-speed. But looks like he missed the waffle, so... he had to adjust a little bit. Not a big deal, so... H-jump for Cujo. And Cujo now approaching probably the hardest level of the game, I would say. If you don't have a P-wing. If you have a P-wing, this level is a joke. But without a P-wing, can be pretty difficult. But about 80 seconds now, definitely the gap is less. Definitely less. Actually, okay. Probably Cujo. I actually missed if Cujo skipped the Star Hammer brother here or not. But definitely Chuck now is closer. Definitely closer. Chuck's execution was overall better here in World 6. So definitely close up the gap. A bomb from Chuck, which is not really a big deal. I mean, all these runners are making look all this level easy, but trust me, they are not. But they are giving to us an incredible show. I mean, very few mistakes, pretty much clean execution from both. I believe that both players are on a pretty solid 52 pace, which is insane if you think of it. Or at least for me, it's insane. Yeah, more or less still around 20 seconds between the two players. Now we are approaching one of the most important moments of the run, which is 7-1. And 7-1 has this very nasty, incredibly, I would say, some aspect unfair tech, which is the wall clip. You can actually use subpixels properly to basically clip into the wall, skipping a huge vertical section, pipe section that otherwise would take at least a couple of minutes to be completed. But with that skip, and by the way, Chuck gets here, give us a taste. The 7-1 clip by clipping here in the airship. Not a clip that makes you save time, but it's definitely smart. Very nice to see. No problem for Cujo against Lemmy. And down towards 7 we go. And the Cujo split at around 35-45. So I believe Chuck should be around 15 seconds, something like that. Yeah, 16-17 seconds. So yeah, Mitsu was that. My hope is that Ball Runner will get the same amount of tries, hopefully 0 for both. But this 7-1 is so unreliable. Sometimes it just works straight, but sometimes it will take you forever to pull it off. So let's see. This one, that's 2. That's 3. And after the 3rd, usually runners can start getting a little bit afraid. This is already the 6th. We're 7. Cujo looks like he's having a little bit of trouble with this clip, whereas Chuck gets first try, and this is the one, maybe the turning point of the race. Cujo still has a lot of trouble with this clip, whereas Chuck got first try, and I believe that was around 15-16 tries. I lost the count. But what really matters is that Chuck got first try. Cujo got a lot of tries, and now Chuck is in the lead. So now the race is in Chuck's hand. Whereas Cujo now is behind. But there's still a lot of hard levels, and especially there are still the hands that can completely flip over this race, and Cujo here, this mistake can really cost the race to Cujo, because right now, let's see, he's trying to clip through this pipe to save a little bit of time. I've never seen this, but it definitely is working. Usually what you do here is to build a bridge with all those hidden music note blocks over that huge gap that Cujo tried to jump over, failing at it. Instead, Cujo decided, you know what? I don't have time to waste building bridge. Let's just doing a couple of clips so that I can try to save a little bit of time. But these 2 levels for real have been a really painful Cujo. He was in the lead, but after 7-1 and 7-2, 7-1 is hard because of very unreliable clips, and 7-2 a hard level because it's an actually hard level with a couple of very nasty jumps. Now Cujo is behind, and actually pretty far behind. I would say at maybe 13 seconds, so that can be a very brutal turning point. But the race is still long. The race is still long, so everything can still happen. But now Cujo knows that being against a great player like Chuck, he knows for sure that a big mistake from Chuck is very unlikely. So now the pressure is definitely on Cujo, who knows that the error was... Oh, looks like Avenglip is jumping into the commentary. But let's see how this race will end. Oh, tense. In the meantime, Chuck is facing 7-8, a world full of pipes. And it looks like Hoverclip is reaching me out shortly, so that he can actually help me commentating the very last chunk of the race. So I should be here in a moment. Just time to set up a couple of things. Chuck is going for the clips, by the way. here in approaching the end of 7-9, you have plenty of choices. And definitely this one is... Oh my god! Three clips in a row for Chuck. That's insane. So now I believe that Chuck is going to play the next fortress, and if we lose the cloud in World 8 in order to skip the fortress in World 8. Oh, like, never mind. Decide to skip the cloud in the fortress, the fortress here in World 7, which is still fine. But Chuck now is stuck with these clips. Oh my god, look, Cujo is losing a lot of time right now. This is definitely not the day for going with such a huge amount of clips for Cujo. Now the gap is getting wider and wider.
Hello?
Hey, Hoglip, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing alright, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm commented in the race, which actually had a twist at the beginning of World 7 where...
I just showed up at the 7-1 and now seems like 7-9 also treating Chuck much better than Cujo.
Yeah, Chuck got actually almost all the clips straight. Just 3 out of 3 attempts, if I'm not mistaken, whereas Cujo had a little bit of troubles. He needed way more attempts, and I believe that the gap is around 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Yeah,
this World 7 airship is about 2 minutes, and Chuck is pretty close to done with it, while Cujo is not yet on it, so pretty strong lead for Chuck here. Cujo also losing his fire. Gonna have a slightly slower Boom Boom kill, but we'll be able to get that fire back on the airship itself, so not the worst time loss for him.
Now Cujo losing the last music box, and here approaching the 7th airship, captained by Ludwig von, which is another Koopa Link that actually is able to shake the ground, just as Roy in the 5th airship. So yeah, it seems like both players are reaching World 8 with around 2 minutes gap, which is not enough for to be decisive. Actually,
I didn't see it. Did Chuck cloud the fortress, or did he play it?
Chuck actually clouded this fort.
Okay, so this lead's actually a lot smaller because Cujo has done 7F2, has a cloud that he can use in 8F, which is a very long stage. So
okay.
This lead's a little deceiving right now. Chuck with a pretty good lead, but definitely hands and that extra stage that Cujo will be able to skip can easily close this gap.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if Chuck gets all the 3 hands and Cujo gets no hands. Which is definitely something we don't ask for Chuck, of course, but that's a possibility that can happen. So this game can be very brutal sometimes.
We have some runners in the chat also saying that it can be called over when Bowser is dead. We have had races in this tournament, seemingly all said and done, that have not ended until Bowser is actually dead.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we had a couple of races that actually the leader of the race actually lost the race because of unfortunate Bowser fight. And also that fight as well can be a little bit RNG dependent, especially if Bowser decides to go for a very aggressive path by jumping very early. It's something that can be very difficult to manage, because at that point you have to jump over him, and because you don't have time to looks like here.
We lost our restream. I think we'll have that back up in just a second here. Don't worry, you're just missing auto scrollers. That's okay. Hopefully nothing crazy happens while we get this back up.
No, I hope it doesn't, because it would mean that I don't really see Chuck and Cujo dying in an auto scroller.
I hope not.
I mean, everything can still happen, nerfs and such, but I don't think this will be the case. I mean, both runners are very, very skilled. And
yeah. I think we're getting everything back up here in just a second.
To afford to pay for the hamster. I thought someone died, not was. No, we are just having some technical troubles, but hopefully we'll be able to fix it quickly.
All of a sudden, they're both beat Bowser with one fireball to go. We'll have no idea what happened. But no, we should have this back up. And like I said, we're just missing some auto scrollers here, so really not missing much. I guess while we are waiting, we can start up the hand game.
Yeah.
Coming up after the first 2 auto scrollers of World 8, there are 3 optional stages known as the hand stages. Each of them are about 50-50 to either skip over them or get grabbed by the hand and pulled in. And since we like to take pleasure in the misfortune of others, we have a little game where you can guess how many hands each runner gets. So get your guesses in now. Anywhere between 0 and 6 is most likely, although if a runner does die on a hand and gets grabbed again, they will have to redo it. So we could possibly see more than 6, but very unlikely with both of these runners. They're both very, very comfortable with those hand stages.
Looks like Chat is very sad because he missed all the 8-1 tank level from Chuck. So
everybody complains about the auto scrollers in this game, and we finally skip over them for you. And now everybody's complaining.
And now all of a sudden everyone wants to see them.
Yeah, there's no winning.
But yeah, looks like both runners are. I believe they both are on the same pace we left. So left them.
Yeah,
so
doesn't look like anything crazy happened between the 2 of them. Chuck doing some nice little boat swag there, which is a total way to manipulate the hands, not some sort of stupid superstition we made up.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's proved that all these fancy and all this swag can actually help blessing the RNG god.
It does, yeah.
We have many publications and such.
Chuck trying the old music box strat.
Indeed, and we proved that actually those right words works. You see, definitely worked. Unfortunately,
getting the first hand.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. I was just mentioning Chuck getting the first hand here.
Oh, right. So do I. Let's see if Chuck. Oh, he gets the 3rd one. So 2 hands for Chuck. There's definitely room for a comeback from Cujo, especially if he still has a cloud. I actually haven't noticed that, but looks like actually Cujo still has a cloud, right?
Yeah, he did play both 7-9 and 7F2, so he has an extra 40 seconds to gain here. Chuck getting 2 hands, so Cujo getting none could really put this race all of a sudden to be really, really close. But Chuck moving on to the fast Air Force now. This auto-scroller is about twice as fast as any other auto-scroller in the game. It's not too bad if you've got, 4 times faster than the World 4.
Yeah.
So Cujo wrapping up the Navy here. We'll see how his luck on hands proves.
Here we go. So Chuck got 2 hands. Let's see how many hands we'll get Cujo. This is already one.
Stand.
And this is also the longest one, so definitely Cujo will be not able to recover. Even if with just that hand, the time he's going to save it will be not too much.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be on Chuck here to make a mistake. If he finishes out cleanly, he should be able to get this win. And we see like both hands, both the 1st and the 3rd for both runners. So the hands treating our runners the same.
Oh, I actually did a mistake. I pressed. I mean, I suppose that Cujo is not gonna die here.
Yeah, he should be okay now. But you gotta make sure they get. Listen, as somebody who died in a hand in this tournament, you gotta make sure.
Yeah. But looks like Cujo will not have. I mean, will not have any issue with hands since he actually beat the 3rd one. So even if the nasty chance is gonna die here, we will come back to the actually 3rd hand level. So we are still okay. So the definite answer is 4. Let me just type it. Chat. I don't know why it's not working, but fine. We will figure out later. So Cujo is in the fast airship, whereas Chuck just beat the 2nd Hungry Sound level, 8-2. And now he's about to do the last fortress of the game. Last mini fortress of the game, not counting of course Bowser Castle as a fortress itself.
Yeah, really solid execution from 8-1 and 8-2 there from Chuck. He's going to try to get to the last door of this fortress using only that one P-switch. Saves about 15 seconds, but it requires some pretty tight movement. And looks like he's in there just in time.
In the meantime, Cujo is starting A-1. Chuck had pretty much flawless execution here. Both A-1 and A-2. So if Cujo wants to still have a chance, he needs to do those levels perfectly. Looks like the first one has been pulled off smoothly. Let's see if the second one. Chuck now is in the last tank level. I believe there's a strat named after you here in the tank level.
You can actually just hold right, spam your fireballs if you've got them, and jump anytime it looks like you need to jump. We see Chuck forsaking the strat. Yeah, it's got a really long name. I don't even know what it is anymore. We've added like 3 more identifiers to it this tournament. Yeah, this actually ends up being, like, honestly the easiest stage of the game.
Yes.
But as with any auto-scrollers, you kind of just need to find one thing that works for you, and then you just go with it. So we see Cujo clouding over 8F. He's going to be in the super tanks, but still a little bit behind here. So it's going to come down to if Chuck can execute cleanly here in Bowser's Castle.
Yeah. I believe that Bowser Castle can still be attained.
Oh, definitely can. If we see Chuck lose his fire, that's going to be a huge swing. Cujo might be able to catch up from that, just due to how long the jump kill takes versus the fire kill. So not out of the woods yet. Chuck still does have to close this out.
Chuck beating the last tank stage. And now Chuck is only to beat Bowser, destroying his fortress, doing the last jumps, and doing a clean fight. Going for the clip there, he missed it, not a big deal, you can just opt for the standard strats. This is probably the hardest part and the most scary part of the castle. All those waffles can be sometimes very dangerous because can be on your way. Sometimes you can just forget the right timing to avoid them.
Chuck having a little trouble keeping his P-speed there in the statue room, but navigates it well, and he's 35 fireballs away from victory here.
No, looks like he should be fine, yes!
Very nice Bowser pattern there, and looks like Chuck will be taking game 1 here.
Yeah. It's a sub 53 time, so very impressive. I believe that Chuck got 52 even in the previous race against Mitch. It's definitely a great consistency from him. Yeah.
So it looks like 52-52 on the timer for Chuck, and he does take game 1.
Yeah. It's not over, still not over for Cujo, since if he will manage to win the next 2 races, he will be in the grand finals. But definitely Chuck is definitely going for a big advantage into this series, being 1 game ahead.
Very nice fire kill from Cujo as well.
I can type here down. Yeah. And looks like Cujo is finishing with around 53 minutes and half. 53 minutes and 31 seconds to be more precise. So GG to Cujo. Definitely that the beginning of 7-1 was really unfortunate. And it definitely cost him the game. We can say that Cujo lost this race. 7-1 clips. And probably also 7-2, also that one.
Yeah, the mistake in 7-2 definitely did cost him a bit as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, this is only game 1 of a best of 3. And stick around because game 2 is coming up in just a short minute. So Cujo will have a chance to tie this series up. We're going to, I think, give these guys maybe a little bit of a break here. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to fire off game 2 here. I don't think we're going to get them in here for an interview just yet. We'll talk to them after their second race.
Yeah, definitely. And looks like also Supersonic should take my place here into the commentary. Soon,
yeah,
I believe.
Thanks for jumping in on this game 1.
Thanks for you to let me commentate this race. Sorry for my for my English. I'm trying to do my best. My English is not. I apologize with all of you because my English is not the best. But I mean, I'm trying to do what I can, and I'm definitely happy to help you as much as I can in order to make this run, make this tournament happening. And I probably will be back just as simple racer at this point. Since
hey, we greatly appreciate it. We've been on commentary a couple times. I've enjoyed being with you, so thank you so much for all your help. And yeah, as chat's mentioning, trust me, I can understand your English. Your English is better than some native English speakers. I can assure you that.
I'll make sure to improve soon. So bye and have a nice second game.
Thanks. Be sure to follow him over at twitch.tv /_C. Thank you very much. For me, see, like I said, English, it's a hard language, but yeah, I think my other partner in crime, Supersonic, will be hopping in here ever so shortly, and we will, after these guys get a little break, a chance to catch their breath, and kind of get ready to go for game 2.